Hello, I'm Brandon. You asked me a bunch of questions and I'm gonna do my best to answer them for you. First question is from Kevin Wild _777. How did you develop Rise Above Fitness into such a successful business? What did you start out with? I got into training in early 2007. I started working with a trainer, eventually started interning with him, and eventually started working with him. We kind of fell out of favor with each other as far as like creating a business together. So I had this idea of what I wanted a gym to be. I wanted it to be somewhere where people can go and just take care of business. Not a place where people are gonna like walk around aimlessly. I call it gym sharking, where they're just walking around from a piece of equipment to a piece of equipment, not really having a plan. I wanted to develop a place that everybody, when they show up to that gym, they have a plan. And everybody that goes there is on the right page. And if everybody's on the right page, then, you know, members and clients and everybody, they help each other, they feed off each other. It's just a really positive training environment, and that's what I wanted to create. I was driving home from training one day and I was listening to Black Flag in my car and the song Rise Above came on, and I was just like, this song is just the epitome of like what I want to do. So I was like, I'm gonna start my own fitness company. I'm gonna call it Rise Above Fitness. And I went out on my own, started building my clientele. Once my clientele got to a certain point, I was like, okay, now it's time to take that leap to open a gym and really build a culture. I think that if you have a really good idea and your training is good and you have the drive, it's possible. I mean, people have asked me how to open your own gym. It just really takes ultimate sacrifice and belief in like what you do and belief in the culture that you're building. And you have to build a culture. You can't just open a gym without any sort of culture. I mean, there's tons of gyms out there that are very unsuccessful because without a culture, people aren't going to want to train there. They'll be willing to spend the lower amount to train at a public gym and just do what they do. This one is from @AL_LILLEY, so Al Lily. What is the story behind your Still Pissed tattoo? A chick? No, it's not a chick. I have this tattoo right here. This is Still Pissed. It's a bomb dropping. I got this in 1999 in Erie, Pennsylvania. I was on tour with my band at the time, Throwdown. Everybody used to always make fun of me because I was really hot-headed, like late teens and like early 20s. Like I would just get pissed like that. So I wanted to get tattooed. The singer of Brothers Keeper, this guy named Mike Ski, had us over to his house for, I think, like a barbecue or something like that, and he was like, hey, let's tattoo. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And so the idea came up to get a bomb that said Still Pissed in the banner, because all my friends always ask me like why I was still pissed. So that's the story. Not a chick. This one is from @Lauren14, LAWRTHEN 14. Which is a better thermogenic, Shreds or OxyLeap Pro? As far as thermogenics go, I'm really like, I've tried every single one of them. I think that most people have tried a lot of them as well. I find that out of those two, I actually like Lipo6 Black the best. And I just take it as sort of like a pre-workout. I don't take it twice a day because I don't need to be, I'm sweaty enough during the day all the time anyway. I don't need to be walking around like sweating more. So I like Lipo6. Out of the two that you mentioned though, I think the OxyLeap Pro is actually a little bit more mellower on your system. Moving down the line. A lot of good questions, so I'm not skipping over that many. This is from @Derek Lawson. Can you recommend a good, quick morning smoothie recipe? I used to do this smoothie in the morning when I was like kind of short on time and I hated cooking. I would take 2 eggs, about 1/3 cup of raw oatmeal, flaxseed. I'd put about a cup of spinach in there, about 1/2 cup of berries with almond milk. Blend that up with like a scoop of vanilla, like usually vanilla whey protein, and I just make that, and that was like my morning breakfast, and it was pretty good, pretty sustainable too until lunch. This is from @The Candy Pie. I love reading the names. It's the KANDIPIE. What do you suggest for new trainers? How to get started to build a successful and fulfilling business? Also, how do you stay positive and deal with anxiety or depression, or suggest for others that have these problems? You have to have your own identity as a trainer. It's easy to kind of fall into like a certain like thing, you know, a certain type of training. But the thing is like you have to put your own spin on it. If you put your own spin on it, then it becomes yours. Everybody's rehashing old shit and other people's shit, so almost like nothing is original. But if you try to like at least try to make it original and try to make it your thing, I find that people will kind of gravitate towards you. As far as the next question, how do you deal with anxiety and depression? That's a little bit weird. I mean, I've had like anxiety disorder my whole life. I've battled with depression recently. Within the last like few months, I got diagnosed with being bipolar. It's a struggle. I mean, every day I wake up and I really have to like concentrate on looking at the positives in life, focusing on the positives and not the negatives, and owning your own business. It's a lot of negatives all day long. It's a lot of, you know, problem resolution and stuff like that. And you know, sometimes it's one of those days, like there's a lot of days that you just don't want to get the hell out of bed, but you just kind of face it and focus on positives in your life. And I think if you focus on positives and push out all the negative influences that you have and all the negative things, you'll be pretty good. But it really takes like that willpower to push the negatives out of your life, whether it be a person or something that is a hobby that's destructive hobby, stuff like that. You got to push that out of your life. This is from at Costello Core. Do you listen to your own music to pump you up while working out? No, I don't. It's really weird, like when I listen to Bleeding Through, like it in a public setting, I get like all like nervous and like scared. It's really weird. Like what are other people thinking like when they're listening to this, you know? Like when we're playing at something completely different. I know the people that are in the audience are actually there to see us, but when it gets put on, usually it's put on as a joke in the gym. I don't know, it like trips me out. Like if you want to see anxiety, like put on a Bleeding Through song while training. This one was from at AngryXHarry. Have you ever shit yourself? He's from the UK, so have you ever shit yourself whilst training? So I don't mean it poked out and you got it in time. I mean a full-on, oh fuck, I've shit myself. No, I have not, but I know people that have, and I also know people that have done way worse than that as far as lifting. There's like this, it's so gross, but powerlifters get it sometimes where when they lift, they're pushing so hard that like their ass like straight up like comes out. Like it's so weird. Like their like sphincter like pops out, like, and then they have to like push it back in. It's fucked up. If you go online, you could actually see pictures of it too. There's like a whole bunch of shit where people post like when they're just pushing so hard, like lifting something, and shit goes wrong. So I have not, but I know people that have, and if you're into that shit and can have the stomach for it, then yeah, go check it out. This is from at Velolands, VELOLANZ. Being an endurance athlete, does CrossFit hurt performance? I don't know. Next question. This one is from one of my clients. It's from Jen Decline, JENNEDEKLIEINE. How many 10x10s can you eat? I bet Yeti Mansur could eat more. 10x10s are, if you're familiar with the West Coast, there's In-N-Out Burger, and they used to do a thing called, well, they used to be able to get as many meat patties as you wanted, and 10x10 is sort of like the staple. Since then, they stopped doing that and you could only get up to 4. So one of the trainers here, Yeti, said that I can't eat a 16x16 or 4 4x4s, in which, if anybody knows me very well, if you challenge me in a food competition, you will lose. I have this bet with the trainer Yeti here that I can't eat 16 patties or 4 4x4s, so next week we're gonna go at it and I'll beat him. This is from at WAYA88. What is the worst injury you've had gotten on tour or lifting? The worst injury I've ever gotten lifting is when I was practicing Olympic lifts, and I basically tore most of my ligaments in my left wrist, and that was horrible because that put me on the shelf for like a long time. So I just don't think I was warming up properly. I was kind of arrogant with my lifting and kind of just went straight into it, and you know, just ripped apart my wrist. It kind of sucked. This one is from @NightmareDemon1. What kind of diet do you recommend for losing fat and gaining muscle? Keep your diet pretty simple when you're trying to do that. I mean, I recommend sort of a medium, low glycemic carb, like some brown rice, sweet potato, you know, low fat proteins, chicken, low fat ground beef, low fat turkey, and kind of keep fats out of the equation. Like as far as like dairy, try to nix dairy from your diet, and try to keep fats like that out of it. So I think like a high lean protein diet with medium low glycemic carbs and very small fat intake. I think if you're trying to like really lose fat and gain muscle, I think that will maintain your body's metabolism to translate that. This one is from @BabyThor_CaptainWalter, which are my dogs. Can we get a little bulldog sister, please, pretty please? No, one bulldog is enough, so no bulldog sisters. This is from Jeff_BegForLife. What is your favorite thing about playing music, and what will you miss most about touring Bleeding Through? My favorite thing about playing music is just the release that you get on stage. It was something that I started playing music because I was dealing with depression, anxiety stuff, and it was either, honestly, it was either write lyrics down on a piece of paper and practice, or do something harmful to myself. So that was like my escape from what I was dealing with. As far as like playing on stage, the release that you get from it, the connection that you have from like a crowd, and when the crowd's like right on point with you, it's like it's the best feeling that I could even describe. So what I'll miss most about touring Bleeding Through is just, I guess, hanging out with my band and all the downtime. It's weird because downtime of tour absolutely crush you because it's just a lot of waiting, but you know, it's the thing of like, when will you have a chance to be in like Norman, Oklahoma at a gas station broken down with your van and like have to figure out where to eat, where to stay, and stuff like that. So it's all those experiences what I'll miss, and I'm very fortunate to be able to see the world and this country so many times, and had those sort of miscues, and had to deal with it on the fly and kind of grow up on the road. So that's what I'll miss the most. This is from @KickArse_fitness. Should I continue trying to bulk up or go shredded? I don't know. Bulk up and get shredded. Does that work? All right, thank you guys for your questions again. Hopefully we do another one of these like next week or the weekend after, or the week after, but I want to try to get in the rhythm of doing one a week. Keep the questions coming. Try to make them original and interesting, and you know, try to keep it classy, and really you could ask me anything, but whether or not I'm going to read it, it's another thing. But I do appreciate it, and I will see you next time.